Hello, Surge family. My name is Tim, if we have not met. And almost a week from this moment, I am sitting outside of the lower atrium. You guys are going to be arriving and loading up buses and heading to summer camp. So this video hopefully won't be more than 15 minutes or so. We'll walk you through hopefully everything you need to know for camp. There attached to this email is a packet that looks like this. You can either print that off or just pull it up. We can kind of be walking through everything in this packet kind of step by step. So if you will, let's go ahead and begin. Here's kind of an overview of summer camp. We're going to Youth Front Camp again this summer. We went there last summer. It's in Lansing, Kansas, just south of Kansas City, about an hour and a half from here, staying 4 nights, 5 days. We have about the same number as last year, a little over 200 students and leaders going to camp. This year, Gretchen Gilbert is going to be our camp speaker. She spoke at Fall Retreat in 2021. So if you went to Fall Retreat that year, you got a chance to meet her and hear her speak. So she's going to be at summer camp this year. Our theme for summer camp is jump. And the idea, this summer we've been going through 1 Peter, and we're going to continue that theme of Peter's life, and we're going to be walking through the Gospels of different stories that Peter that involves Peter, and how sometimes he jumped and it was a good thing, but other times he kind of jumped too soon and it wasn't a great thing. So that's the theme this summer. Like I said, I'm super excited to have Gretchen come and speak truth to our students. Here's the purpose of summer camp. I'm sorry for the glare, but here's the purpose of summer camp. It's fourfold. One is we want students to just have a chance to get away from the busyness of life. Something happens when you get out of your normal routine and you get away for a few days. It just allows God to speak to us a little more clearly sometimes. Number two is to connect with each other. Like, we want you to connect with your community and to build relationships, deeper relationships with each other. Number three is we want you to connect with God. That's probably the most important thing. Is we have gear this week to help you connect, have an encounter with God. So we want to see that happen. And number four is just to have a ton of fun. We have a lot of fun things planned for this week. Some different things than past summer camps that we'll get to here in a second. But it's going to be a ton of fun. So I am looking forward to seeing what God is going to do through our students. All right. Departure is Monday, next Monday, a week from today, July 17th. We're meeting here at the church at 1:30, hopefully to depart by 2 o'clock. And then we will return on Friday, July the 21st, around 11:30. Our plan is to leave there at 10 o'clock and be back here around 11:30. I would say that if you follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, we will keep you updated on when the buses are leaving, when we arrived, our ETA for that Friday. So since students won't have their cell phones, which we'll get to in a few moments, if you follow our social media, that would be the best place to find up-to-date information for arrival. And also, if you're interested, we try to broadcast all of our main sessions. So if you want to watch or join us in worship, you're free to do that. You'll see the schedule of those times here in a few moments. Contact information. You'll have the contact information for Youth Front, the phone number. Also mine, Amy, Ryan, Doug's, Missy, and Brian, who's our camp nurse this year. You have all their information, phone numbers. So if you need to reach your students, since they won't have their cell phones, you can do that by those means. Or if you have their community group leaders number, you can also contact them to reach your students. Check-in. So on the 17th, when you check in, first of all, you need to eat before you come. We're not having food here. You won't eat until summer camp, dinner at summer camp. But you will receive a name tag with your name, obviously. Also, your bus assignment. We have 3 buses and 2 vans, and then also your cabin assignment. So you don't necessarily have to wear your name tag the whole day, but I would say keep it on until you get there, get to your cabin, and get situated. That way you don't ask me, or I don't get 1,000 questions, or your leaders don't get 1,000 questions about what cabin am I in, what room am I in, and so forth. Medications. So if you are someone who takes medications on a regular basis, our camp nurses will be at check-in at the table there, and you would just talk with them after you check in, get your name tag, just go over and talk to Brown or Missy, and they will take your take your medications and write your name on it and get the instructions for your child. Rooming. So we are staying in cabins, and they're bunk style cabins. So you will need sheets for twin beds while you're there. But there's two different style cabins. One is just a really big room with, I think, 10 bunk beds in it. The other is kind of individual rooms that have 4 bunks in each one. So that's kind of the cabin situation, what it looks like. I think all the girls are staying in the large room cabins. Most of the guys are in the room cabins, except for a couple of the grades are in the big room cabins. Transportation, we talked about this already. We do have 3 charter buses and 2 charter vans that we are using for this trip. All the vans will stay together. The nurses will follow the buses in case there's some type of emergency that they are needed for. And we'll have leaders throughout the bus. So we will have bus captains that will take roll of each of the buses. So it's very important that you actually get on the bus that your name tag says. So if you're bus 1, don't get on bus 2, even though some of your friends may be on bus 2. It's only an hour-and-a-half drive. Just get on the bus that you are assigned to. That will help us get off to a quicker start and without any delays. Community group leaders. So parents, just to let you know that all of our community group leaders have been background checked. We just had a training yesterday for summer camp, so they are ready. They're excited for your kids to get to know them better and to help them find and follow Jesus Christ. So typically in each of the groups we have between 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8 to 12 in a community group. So if this is your child's first kind of experience with Surge or our student ministry, that is kind of how the community groups are set up. They're age specific, gender specific, and around 6 to 12 in each group. Free time activities. So each day, roughly between 2 and 5, 2:30 on a couple of days, just depends on how long those activities last. You have free time, and there's a lake there with different blobs and different inflatable activities on the lake. There's also a pool that's really cool, has a really cool slide. There's disc golf and volleyball and gaga ball and 9 square, all those type of activities that you can use during that free time as well. So free time is happening. Adults will be around, supervised. You can even take a hike if you want to get a leader and a few students and go on a hike. You can do that as well. Also, during that free time, we'll have some organized stuff happening. Some tournaments happening on Tuesday and Thursday. Paintball is happening on Wednesday. There's organized rec that will happen for an hour on Tuesday and Thursday as well. So make sure you look at the schedule and participate in those things as well. Cell phones. I mentioned this already, but this year we're saying no cell phones at all, not even on the buses. If you went to summer camp last year, this is the same rule we had last year. If you went to summer camp 2 years ago, we said you could take your cell phones on the bus and we would collect them when we got there. But this is only an hour and a half versus 4.5 hours, so you don't need cell phones. Leave your cell phones with your parents. Parents, please help us with this. Make sure your kid doesn't have their cell phone. It just brings about a lot of distractions. There's nothing evil about cell phones. I'm not saying that, but I am saying this week we want this to be a distraction-free time for your students. So if you parents can help us with this, leave the cell phones behind. That would be awesome. So this is something different this year than in years past. But Youth Front is they have what they call Snack Shack bucks or Youth Front bucks or something. So parents, if you do not want to send cash with your students with the fear of them losing it or anything else, You can go, these instructions will be on the website. I sent an email out last week about this as well. But you can go on here and you can set up an account for your kid, and you can put $10 or $20 or $50 or however much money you want to into that account. And once that money is spent, they're done, right? You can even add more money if you want to. Or if they don't use all their money, which it's not likely, you can even get a refund at the end of the week. You have to go back on there and request that. So if you want to set up money this way, that is what they prefer. It goes quicker in their system instead of everyone having cash. So if you can do it this way, that's awesome. If you want to send cash with them or a card, you can do that as well. That's just what they recommend, and I told them I would let you guys know that as well. Camp rules. I do want to walk through these. One, be present at all times, at all activities. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, be there. Sessions, be there. The organized rec, be there. There's things that you have to be at, and there's other things that is optional. So make sure that you're at you're there in your own time. No guns, weapons, fireworks. I know 4th of July was just last week, so you may have some leftovers you want to bring. Don't bring them. No cell phones, no tobacco, alcohol, drugs of any kind. If we see that, you're going home automatically. That's it. No questions asked. No guys in girls' room or vice versa. There's separate cabins for a reason. Let's keep it that way. No pranks allowed, no bullying. And this is something I would not tolerate. If I see or hear bullying take place, we will address that immediately. No purple or PDA, public display of affection. So guys and girls, this week you shouldn't have to hold hands or hug or kiss or anything else. We're asking that you guys just refrain from that this week. If we see it, we will address it as well. And then the last one here is no one is allowed outside of the rooms after lights out. So students, you shouldn't be outside of your room after lights out. We will have zero tolerance for this as well. And there are some rules that we'll address once we get there that Youth Front has. Like, for example, no one is allowed to climb up on the roofs of the cabins. It's very easy to do that. We ask that you don't do that. And then we just ask that you respect the place that we're going to, the staff that we'll be there with. Make sure that we're showing them respect. All right, dress code. You can read this for yourself. I'm not going to go through all of this. Bathing suits. This is our policy on bathing suits. Girls, one, just be modest. I realize that there's some one pieces that are very immodest. There's some two pieces that are very modest. So we don't have a one piece rule, but we just say that you are modest, and that if you have questions, girls, if you have questions, is this modest or is this immodest, then you can send Amy a text. Her number is on that first or second page. Send Amy a text of your bathing suit. Say, hey, this is my bathing suit. Do I need a different one, or should I wear a shirt? But it just needs to be modest, okay? If we see that it's not modest, then we will ask that you change or that you put a shirt on or something else. Mid-thigh to knee length, loose-fitting trunks for the boys. No one needs to see anything that they shouldn't be seeing. So loose swim trunks is what we want. Students must be fully clothed at meals and sessions, top, bottom shoes. Tops must have straps, not spaghetti straps. Full length, no crop tops, no tube shirts. Shorts and dresses must be modest in length. And then something that they had a rule last year, but they didn't really enforce it. But for the slide, they're requiring you guys to wear shirts. So if you have a swim shirt or something you want to wear for that, bring it. You're on a mat, so the shirt shouldn't really slow you down anyway. But they are requiring you guys to wear shirts when you go down the slide. I think after our week of camp last year, they had some injuries of people getting hurt, burns and stuff. So if you have a swim shirt, I would suggest bringing that for the pool. Packing list. We're not going to walk through this. You can read this for yourself. I would say a couple of things. One, you need to bring a pair of old clothes for the mega relay. You will get dirty, so if you have some clothes that you don't mind getting messed up, please bring that for the mega relay. Some long pants if you're playing paintball, even maybe for night strike. It's not necessary for night strike, but you may want to have some long pants for that. But I really don't suggest playing paintball and shorts. So, but you can read the rest of that. Dark. It gets really dark there, so flashlights are great. Water bottles are a must. Boys, middle school boys especially, like soap and shampoo is great. It's not only great to bring it, but it's also great to use it while you're there. Deodorant is a gift from God. I will say hammocks. There's a ton of trees there, so if you have a hammock, you want to bring a hammock, you can do that as well. And Bible. Make sure you bring a Bible for our time together. All right, next is the schedule. I do want to walk through some parts of the schedule. Monday, you can read through that. Pretty simple, normal. We're doing the pool party that night. It's family vacay Monday. So dress in your coolest tourist outfits. Next is Tuesday, Dynamic Duo Tuesday. Find someone or find a group of people and dress up for that. Tuesday, I do want to point out at 1:30, we're doing the mega relay. So this is something different. This is not an optional activity. This is everyone coming together. At 11:30, you'll notice prep for mega relay. That's when you'll get in your teams, your four different teams, and you'll kind of prepare, and your leaders will guide you through that process. Then 1:30 to 2:15, it won't take long at all to do the mega relay. Once that's done, you'll have free time. There's tournaments happening, different things. The mega relay will happen on the field, and that's what I mentioned earlier. Bring or wear something that you don't mind getting paint or dirt or getting wet. So just come prepared for that. You see the tournaments there. Dinner, night strike is happening that night. Wednesday is Spirit Day. So whatever color your team is, wear it that day. There's paintball happening that afternoon after lunch. And then, yes, you have the late night show happening in the worship center that night. So it's very important that you wear your team colors to the late night show that night. There's going to be a chance to get a ton of points for your team, so come ready for that. And then Thursday is totally rad Thursday. We're bringing it back to the 80s. And the organized rec thing happening that day is called the Syndicate Challenge, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you'll need to meet in the worship center. You'll also have a time at 11:30 that day to prep for that. So your leaders are going to be ready for that. But we'll explain a lot more details of what that looks like at summer camp. And then that night is the 80s dance party, so get ready for that. There is some tournaments happening, Newcomb, disc golf, and 3-on-3 basketball also happening in the afternoon on Thursday. And then Friday, we're waking up, we're eating breakfast. We are having a short send-off on Friday, and then we are coming back to Topeka. Here's some other information for you. One is if you're leaving cars at the church, make sure that you leave it in the east lot or the north lot over here, because there's people coming in and out throughout the week. Even though we're not here every weekend, it's just better to keep the main lot clear in case there is a funeral or something else. And two more things. One is the theme colors. You should already have these. And I just realized that this is not the right graphic on here. So disregard this. This is what you should look at instead. Summer camp. This year, 7th and 8th grade are blue, 9th grade green, 10th grade. It's a big debate if it's orange or yellow. I think it's a light orange. And then 11th and 12th grade is pink, red. You choose. And then our themed days, we've already talked about Family Vacay, Dynamic Duo, Spirit Day, and Totally Rad Thursday. So, yeah, that's from last year. So you just disregard that. I forgot to change that. And then we've already talked about the theme is jump. We've already talked about this as well, but I do want to read this last sentence here. Thank you so much for allowing your student to come to camp with us. It is going to be an incredible week. And this is what we want you to do. We say all the time here, prayer is the most that we can do. So pray for this for your students on a daily basis, that God would do something incredible in his or her life. Pray for the safety of all the students and leaders, and pray for the leaders that God would give them the energy. It's going to be a long week for each day, and wisdom to deal with the issues that they will face. So I am looking forward to an awesome week. And this has gone 20 minutes, which is about 5 minutes longer than I wanted it to last. But I'm going to pray for us. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, text me, and let me know. And I would love to answer those questions that you guys have. So let me pray for us. Jesus, thank you so much for your love and your grace towards us, and for this opportunity that these students have to go to camp for a week, to experience you in maybe a new way. God, I pray that you will just reveal yourself to us. God, I pray for students who have yet to make this decision to find and follow you, that they would do that this week, that Spirit, you would just draw them to yourself. I pray for our leaders, that you would just use them, give them wisdom as they lead our students. I pray for this next week as we just do the final prep for summer camp, that you would just give us wisdom as we do that. God, we love you so much. I pray for these parents as they send their kids away, that you would give them peace as their child is away. I pray for any student who is just full of anxiety right now about summer camp, that you would just calm those and give them a peace. We love you, Jesus, and we pray this in your name. Amen. All right, guys, thank you, and we will see you next Monday, July the 17th, around 1:30. Thanks. Bye.